Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mic Drop Monday with Elisa LaShell, the empowerment specialist. I am just over the moon excited about Mic Drop Monday tonight. I'm excited to be able to teach. I'm excited to be able to empower, enlighten, equip you with the tools that you need to move forward. So as you guys come on, make sure that you're saying hello. Make sure if you're watching for the first time, you let me know where you're watching from. I would love to know where, and make sure that you are hitting the share button when you come on, because we want everybody to come on in and get in on this. I believe it's going to be real. It's going to be raw. It's going to be relevant. I believe that it's going to help shift you from your now into your next. And so welcome everybody. Always get excited and forget to share. So let me go ahead and make sure that I'm sharing. You guys do the same, because again, tonight is going to be amazing. I believe it's going to be just the jump start that we need to push us into our next. We understand that we're closing out the year and we're getting ready to shift into our next. But can I tell you something? We can holler about 2020 all day, but until we reconcile some things here and here and here, then guess what? We're still going to be stuck. We'll be in 2020 with a 2019 mindset. So this is what we are doing tonight. We're shifting out of our now into our next. So you guys do me a favor. Listen, don't just share if you know some people and they might need a quick reminder. Get them on for Mic Drop Monday. It's going to be off the chain. So I'm sharing and letting people know to join us live. I want you guys to do the same. Thank you guys that are watching for the first time. I'm so excited that you guys caught this live. Get your people on. Again, this is going to empower, enlighten, impact, equip us out of our now into our next. A lot of the times we have these things within us that we want to do, and we have these ideas, we have our purpose, we kind of know what we're doing, where we're going, but we're still not winning. We're still not in that place where we're accomplishing what it is that we're setting out to do. And so I am going to get you activated so that we can stop winging it and start winning, and so that's what we're going to do. We don't want to go into our 2020 season with a 2019 mindset. And so I need you to gather your people. Go ahead and tell them to join us live right now. Tag them, get them on, share this on your page, because again, I believe that this is going to help equip us. Thank you all so much that are joining. I'm too excited about it. You guys know that I have been traveling for the last 7 weeks straight. And so I am excited to be able to sit down and do some work and sit down and get some things together. And so as I am taking this moment, you guys know I couldn't not have something fresh to activate us in Mic Drop Monday. And so again, as you guys are coming on, listen, I'm telling you, don't just keep this to yourself. Get your people on. We want to go in together. I don't want to just win. I want everybody connected to me to win. I want everybody to help. Listen, we're going to shift together. We're going to level up together. We're going to look at ourselves and figure out what's the hold up, and we're going to all shift into this next level together. And so get your people on, tag them, let them know, listen, you need to get out your pen and pencil because the teacher is in the house, and I am going to help shift you guys by giving you some strategies to help you in your now, but for your next. And so, yeah, we're living in our now, but we're preparing for our next. So I'm giving you guys a moment to get everybody in tonight. We're going to have an amazing time. I was thinking as you guys are coming on, I just did a video about a week ago where I was wearing my 2020 season shirt that I ordered from Apostle John Eckhart. And as I was wearing my 2020 shirt, I did a segment. I did a quick video. One of the things that I said was, why is it that when our seasons change in the natural, that we don't wait for the season to get here before we start adjusting ourselves, before we start shifting to prepare for that season? The first time that we understand that there was a gust of wind letting us know that fall was on the way, we start adjusting. I said that we go to our closet, and those things that used to accommodate us right now, all of a sudden, guess what? They're inappropriate for our next. And so there are certain things when the season start shifting that we move to the back of the closet, and there are some boxes we start unpacking and saying, listen, for this next season I need something a little different. For this next season I've got to shift. Y'all know I'm always talking about shift. And so why don't we do that in emotionally, mentally, psychologically, prophetically, professionally? Why don't we recognize that the seasons are changing and start making preparations to go from our now into our next? Well, I'm going to let you know why. Because I'm going to, guys know that I'm always saying that you can't fix what you won't face. You know I'm saying that. And so tonight I'm going to tell you, I'm going to help you look down the list and see yourself and figure out, you know what, that's me. Let me go ahead and tell the truth. This is why I'm not winning, because I'm out here trying to wing it. But listen, in this next season of our life, it is important that we stop winging it and that we start winning. And so when I come to the end and as I begin to break down these barriers of how we recognize that we're winging it, I'm actually going to equip you and I'm going to give you seven steps for success. And tonight is all going to be about personal development. What happens with us a lot of the times is that professionally we'll kind of know, all right, I kind of know what I'm trying to do. I kind of know what my goals are. So let me put these things together. But we all messed up right here. We're all messed up right here. And what happens is we're never able to sustain. We're never able to maintain, and we're never able to retain. Let me say that again for the people in the back. We have it here, but we don't have it here, and we don't have it here. So we're never able to sustain, maintain, or retain the things that are put in our hands to do. I need to say that one more time. Did you hear what I said? A lot of the times we get it in our hands, but we don't have it in our heart, and we sure don't reconcile it in our head. And so when things happen, when we understand our purpose, we're not able to maintain, sustain, or retain it because we haven't gotten clear here and we haven't gotten clear here. So I want everybody to take a moment and share this or tag your friends and get them on, because we're going to activate some things tonight. We're going to stop winging it and we're going to start winning, and we're going to shift out of our now and we're going to sail right into our next. But I want to make sure that we are prepared. So again, I'm Elisa LaShell, the empowerment specialist, and this is Mic Drop Monday. You guys know that my platform resonates on the notion that you can't fix what you won't face. But listen, when you decide to face it, I guarantee you there's help, there's hope, and there is healing. And that's what Mic Drop Monday is all about. 3 rules of engagement that I would like for you guys to do. Number 1, if I say something, because I'm going to start off by seeing how can we identify and how do we know that we're out here trying to wing it. If you see yourself, do me a favor. 3 quick words. Type in, I see me. We're just going to go ahead and tell the truth and shame the devil and put it on blast so that we can get some accountability. Secondly, what I want you to do is if I say something and you know full well it was a mic drop, it was an aha moment, do me a favor and either type in the word to mic drop or hit that microphone emoji or show me some love to let me know that I am indeed dropping the mic. Last but not least, I'm going to equip you. I am going to give you a 7-step strategy to help you in your personal development, again, so that you don't get to the next level and not be able to maintain, sustain, and retain the things that have been put into your hands. Again, we can holler all day about it's my 2020 season, but we get right on in there in 2020 with a 2019 attitude, and we're again not able to retain, maintain, and sustain the things that have been put into our hands. So tonight is all about equipping, empowering, impacting. Tonight is all about self-development. Tonight is all about looking at the inside and being honest about, listen, I'm out here trying to wing it, and that's why I'm not winning, but I need to go into this next season of my life equipped, locked and loaded, ready to take it on. Again, like I said, we can have it in our hands, but we don't have it in our head, and we don't have it in our heart. And then we wonder why it is so hard for us. We start off good. Man, we start off powerful. We start off like, yeah, I am in here. Listen, we about to do this thing. And then we wonder, why is it falling apart? Why is it slipping out of my fingers? Why am I going backwards? Why am I stuck in neutral? What in the world is going on? Because we haven't gotten clear here and we haven't reconciled it here. And so I want to help equip you guys to shift over into your 2020 well equipped, well prepared to get out there in your purpose. Again, make sure that you are hitting that share button. Get your folks on, because again, tonight is going to be about personal development. Tonight is going to be about personal empowerment. Tonight is going to be about being self-sufficient in our emotions and in our minds, and getting us to reconcile who we've been with who we need to be right now. And again, I say this all of the time, if it doesn't have a strategy, it's probably going to end up in tragedy. Look, I'm already out the gate dropping the mic. Did you hear what I said? I always say this. If it doesn't have a strategy, it's probably going to end up in tragedy. And so what happens is, man, we take off running. I mean, full speed. It's 2020. It's my year. I'm getting ready to get it. And again, because we have not put a strategy in place then, and because we haven't reconciled what's in our hands to what's in our head and what's in our heart, then we see ourselves going backwards and we can't retain, sustain, or maintain the things that God has placed in our hands to do. So I hope y'all are ready. First of all, let me go ahead and break up some fallow ground by telling you something. For some reason, when we hear the word strategy, we start thinking, man, that's carnal. That doesn't apply to us in the kingdom. But I want you to know that strategy is a kingdom principle. Can somebody type that into the comments? I need you to get this right in your head, because a lot of the times we think that we're being spiritual when we just try to wing it. But I need you to know that there is no confusion, and God is not the author of confusion. And it's confusing when we get out there with no strategy and we don't know what to do next. So I need you to understand that strategy is a kingdom principle. Strategy is a kingdom principle. I need you to understand something, and I had to reconcile this with my own self. God is the master strategist. I'm talking about we go around saying, oh, I don't need a strategy. I'm just going to go with what I feel. However the Spirit just leads me, I'm going to be out there winging it, trying to win. No, let me explain something to you. Planning is biblical. That's another mic drop. Can somebody type that into the comments? Planning is biblical and strategy is a kingdom principle. That's two misnomers that we have with the kingdom. We don't understand this, but planning is biblical and strategy is a kingdom principle. Do you want me to prove it? Because I don't mind proving it. Let's prove it in the word. Isaiah 46:10 says, declaring the end from the beginning. In other words, God says, I make known the end from the beginning. I don't know about you, but that sounds like a master strategist to me. Well, let me go ahead and prove it. I'm telling you, planning is biblical and strategy is a kingdom principle. Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, I sanctified you, and I ordained you. Did you hear what I said? Planning is biblical and strategy is a kingdom principle. He said, Jeremiah, what I did was I went backwards, and before I formed you, I knew who you were. I need you to say, listen, if we were in church, I would tell you to tell your neighbor, strategy. Here's another one. Strategy is scriptural. Okay? Strategy is scriptural. We think when we hear about those type of things, planning, that's not for the saints. No, let me tell you something. Planning is biblical and strategy is a kingdom principle. And so again, Isaiah 46:10 says he declared the beginning of a thing from the ending. And so what happens is we get into our next with no preparation from our now. And we understand, and we can't figure out why is everything falling apart, because we don't have a strategy. And so, again, here's another scripture just because I want to lay the foundation. I want you guys to know that strategy is necessary and that it's biblical. I remember Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans that I have for you, says the Lord. What is he teaching? I keep telling y'all, God is the master strategist. He's trying to teach you. He's saying, before you shift into your next out of your now, I already set some things in place because I need you to understand that strategy is scriptural. And so what happens with us is when we fail to plan, we plan to fail. I don't know who I'm helping tonight. I hope y'all are hitting that share button because somebody needs this. When we fail to plan, we're planning to fail. And because we think that that's carnality wrapped up in strategy, because we think that there's no place for that in the kingdom, then we mess up. We wonder why when things are put into our hands, why we're not able to maintain, retain, or sustain the things that come into our hands. Because if it doesn't have a strategy, it's going to end up in tragedy. Man, I'm already feeling the flow. I hope you guys are sharing. Tag your people, get them on. If you work with some people, if you're trying to build a team, you need your team on tonight because we got to tear down these misnomers. We got to tear down these false ideologies, these things that are keeping us from shifting out of our now into our next. Tag your folks, get them in because we all want to get the same understanding so that we can go up together. And so when I realized that planning was biblical, when I realized that strategy is scriptural, I start figuring some things out. I start saying, well, listen, Why we keep trying to wing it? What is it that has us winging it? And a lot of time we try to say, oh, I'm not trying to wing it. No, I'm not. No, we try to wing it. And I'm going to walk down this list and I'm going to tell you how to identify whether or not you've been winging it. Because I keep telling y'all, and somebody needs to type this, you can't wing it and win. Yeah, that's a mic drop for tonight. Did you hear what I said? You can't wing it and win. All right. So what happens is we wing it and we're able to sustain for that very moment, but it never takes us. There's no perpetuity to it. We're never really able to go from our now into our next. And so I need you to understand this. You can't wing it and win. And so tonight it's going to be, first of all, we're identifying this mindset of winging it. Again, I keep telling you guys, we're trying to be equipped into our now, and then we want to go into our next, but we're never able to sustain, maintain, or retain anything because we have it in our hands, but we don't have it in our head. And so this is what we need. We need to identify the mindset. How do we identify that we're in this place where we're trying to wing it and we're never able to win? Number one, how do I identify? How can I recognize that I'm out here trying to wing it? Number one, it's compulsive busyness. Oh man, somebody better type this in. Number one, compulsive busyness. Well, what does that mean? You're jumping from task to task. Compulsive busyness. That means you don't have a laid out itinerary. You don't have a task list that is priority orientated. And so what you're doing is you're in this state of perpetual compulsive busyness. I'm teaching tonight. I got my teaching hat on. So this thing is about, I'm giving you strategies because I want y'all to be great. I want you guys to progress from your now into your next. And so compulsive busyness. We're here and we're just jumping from one thing. Every time we ask what you're working on is something different. What you're getting into now, it's something different. And so how do you know you're winging it? You have compulsive busyness. You're just jumping from one thing to another. Haven't completed one task because you got distracted by the next one. Compulsive busyness. And so that makes you understand that you are not prioritizing your tasks. Number two, how can we understand that we're out here trying to wing it? Well, obsession with social media. That's going to pinch a little bit. Now, I'm not talking about you are using social media to help cultivate an arena that you're trying to get into. I'm talking about you have an obsession with social media. You literally sit around and wait for people to post things because you're trying to see what they have to say, what they're doing. How can I stay on top of it? Let me see what they're eating. What are people do? I'm obsessed with social media. I can't be social because I'm always on social media. I say this all of the time. When I'm not live, I'm living. Oh, y'all didn't hear me, huh? When I'm not live, I'm living. I hope y'all are understanding what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how can I identify when I'm out here winging it instead of winning it. And number one, I said compulsive busyness. You're just jumping from task to task. You're never completing anything. You don't have a list of prioritization, and you're just going from one thing to the next. Secondly, obsession with social media. You don't have a plan where you're working on something and then you post it and then you go back to your regular life. No, you just stay in front of social media all of the time because you're obsessed with what everybody else is doing. You're obsessed with everybody else is wearing. You're obsessed with everybody else, where they're going. What do they have going on? And you're never able to cultivate any consistency in your own life. It might hurt a little bit, but I promise you it's going to help you. Obsession with social media. Y'all sharing this? Because I'm off the chain tonight. How can I identify that I'm out here trying to wing it, but I'm not here trying to win it? Number three, you're checking your email every few minutes. Man, let me see what's going on in my email. Did anybody send me something? Is there something? Did somebody? And listen, 9 times out of 10, it's only somebody trying to sell you something. It's only somebody trying to tell you that your Amazon package is on the way. Just obsession. Now you're just checking your email. Let me see what's going on. You have a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. You look busy because there you go. Hold on, I need to check my email. But what are you checking it for? I can't hear nobody. What are you checking it for? I'm trying to show you how can I tell that I'm out here winging it instead of winning it. Number 4, if you're in a person of position and you have unorganized meetings. Woo! Listen, I'm trying to help you. Unorganized meetings. That's how you can tell when you're winging it and you're not winning. Yeah, you have these meetings. You're gathering everybody together. You're putting everybody into something. And guess what? It's completely unorganized. Nobody knows. And listen, this is also helping you identify if you're working with somebody who's winging it and not winning. Oh, have you ever walked into a meeting and it's completely unorganized? There is no itinerary. There is no agenda. Nobody knows what's going on. And then when you walk away, you still have no idea what's going on either. This is a sign that you're out here trying to wing it, but you are not here trying to win it. That's number 4, unorganized meetings. Oh yeah, thank y'all for being honest. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for saying I see me if I'm helping you. Number 5, saying yes when the answer should be no. Uh-oh. How do you know you're winging it instead of winning it? Saying yes when it should be a no. Yeah, I can do that. You know, I was in, and I see a lot of the Bloom people. I was in, Wilmington this weekend, and I was sharing how sometimes what happens with us is we're consistently giving people things. We're renting out our resources, and we're prostituting our prosperity, and we're putting our car on clearance because what we're trying to do is we're winging it. And so when you're winging it, you haven't put your priorities, your pastimes, and your projects in the front. And so what you're doing is anytime somebody asks you something, yeah, I can do it. You don't even have enough time for yourself. You don't even have the space to get it done for you. But here you go out there winging it and not winning because you're always saying yes when it needs to be a good, crisp no. Am I helping anybody tonight? Number 6, how can I tell when I'm winging it when I should be winning it? I'm constantly searching the TV, just channel surfing, not watching anything. I'm winging it. Oh yeah, just out here winging it because it's showing you that there is no consistency. What are you watching? Oh, I don't know. I'm just trying to I don't know. I'm just seeing what's going on. You're just out here winging it. That is linked to that abstract thinking that has no focus. And so just clicking through, first of all, you're wasting time because listen, let me tell you something. And I know this isn't for everybody. I'm not a TV watcher. Like, I don't watch TV, but I do love movies. And what happens with me, because when you are an entrepreneur or when you're trying to shift out of your now into your next, one of the things that you have to be very careful about is discipline, self-discipline. You're not going to have anybody tapping you on the shoulder saying you need to get up. You need to get this done. You need to prioritize. And so there has to be something that you put on the inside of you, some checkpoints that you put on the inside of you that allows you to be disciplined. And you can always tell. So what I do is when you're not disciplined because you're just surfing. And so what I have to do is I sit and I say, well, if we're going to watch a movie, what movie are we watching? What time are we watching this movie? That movie's about 2 hours long. Okay, so we're going to watch this movie. Now, if it's just a day that I'm taking off, listen, I can wing it. Hear me clearly. There's a time where we need to wing it. But I'm talking about as we shift out of our now into our next, as we get to the place where we're not trying to go into a 2020 season with a 2019 mindset, we have got to put some self-discipline into our lives. And so this is a telltale sign that there is no direction because you're out here just winging it, wasting time, channel surfing, don't have any direction, and you have no focus, and that's no focus in your abstract thinking. You can't wing it and win. I hope I'm helping you. Number 7, how can I tell that I'm out here winging it? Because this is why I'm not winning it. Clutter and acquiring stuff you don't need. Man, if you can't say amen, I'll take a good ouch. Clutter and acquiring stuff you don't need. Oh, you got a lot of stuff, but it has no purpose. Oh, yeah. You look around your house, you look in your purse, and you just got a lot of stuff, just acquiring stuff. Why do you have all of those magazines? Why do you have all of those newspapers? Why are you keeping all of those receipts? Why are you hoarding? Just a professional hoarder. What is the point? See, let me tell you something. You got to walk up to your stuff and you got to ask yourself a question. What's the point of me having you? And let me help you with this. If you cannot find something for that thing to do within the next 2 to 4 weeks, then you need to get rid of it. I appreciate y'all for helping me typing these in the comments. Listen to me. You look at your stuff, and if the stuff that you're cluttering, this obsession, and you're telling yourself, well, I'm keeping it because I might need it I need this newspaper because I might need to be packing. Are you moving? If the answer is no, will you please send that to the recycle bin? That is a sign that you're out here winging it. There is no objective to your stuff. There's no objective. You're just out here collecting stuff. What are you Look at your stuff and ask your stuff a question and ask it, why are you here? Because I want to tell you that's linked to something that's unhealed. That's linked to something that's underdeveloped. That's linked to something that you have not dealt with. I often tell the story that I used to keep receipts, and I used to hoard receipts because I thought that was my plan B in case I was in a bad financial situation, and I was thinking, well, if I have my receipts, I'll be able to take something back if I need to. And in my head, that made sense. But it had to occur to me that nobody was going to ask me a week later, what did I eat at Burger King 2 weeks ago at 5 o'clock? Nobody's going to ask me that. And so this is a sign that you're out here winging it, that you have clutter, and that you're acquiring stuff that you do not need. Let me tell you something. When you get to a place where you declutter in the natural, let me tell you something. It will help you in the spirit. And you hit on something I was just getting ready to hit on. It's more things that you can hoard. Let me tell you something. It ain't even just that some of y'all hoarding people. Oh yeah, you just keeping people in your life that have no business, no point. You need to I'm helping somebody. You need to look around at some of the people that you're hoarding, that you're holding on to, and you need to ask them as you shift from your now into your next, why are you here? Man, listen. I'm glad I got on a cordless. I'm glad I got on this mic lapel because I want to drop the mic right there. You need to look around in your circle because some of us hoard people. Well, I've been knowing them forever. Well, this is my childhood friend. Well, I grew up with them. Well, I don't even like them, but I just feel obligated to them. No, some of us are professional hoarders and we're hoarding people. Every now and again, you need to do self-inventory and you need to look around at the people and you need to ask them a question. Why are you here? Are you adding value to my life? Are you helping my life to shift from my now into my next? Why are you here? Man, I hope I'm helping. Y'all need to be hitting that share button because I'm trying to help us get free. This is a sign that we're out here winging it and we're not winning it. I think I'm on number 8. A sign that we're winging it, procrastinating. I say this all of the time. Procrastination is the kryptonite to purpose. Procrastination, that means I'm out here winging it. Procrastination sounds like this. Oh, I'm going to get to it in a minute. Well, I'm going to put that to the side because I don't have all my stuff ready. But as soon as I do, I'm going to get to it. I'm working on it. Oh, that's the procrastinator's favorite line. Oh, I'm working on it. When is it going to be finished? When will it be complete? When is it at a place where you can do a soft launch? Huh? Procrastination, that is a sign because we're saying to ourselves, it's not a priority and I don't want to walk into my next. And so I'm just going to keep it so I can cultivate something that has no perpetuity. I'm in a state of inertia. That means there's motion and there is no movement. That's what procrastination looks like. Procrastination looks like motion with no movement. Procrastination looks like being on a treadmill and it looks like I'm doing stuff because I'm getting up, because I'm going to work, because I'm coming home, because I'm doing what I got to do. But I'm starting over in the morning and I am not going anywhere. I'm living in a consistent state of inertia. There is motion, but there is no movement. Procrastination. And can I tell you what procrastination speaks to? Now this is going to help you, but it might pinch a little bit. Procrastination is a lack of self-discipline. Listen, I dropped the mic on my own self. I hope I'm helping you. I'm talking about how to identify whether you are winging it. These are signs that let you know that you're out here winging it, and that's why you're not winning it. Procrastination is a lack of self-discipline. That means you don't have the discipline to start a task and complete it. That means that you don't have the discipline to stop being distracted and stay focused on what it is that you're supposed to do. Procrastination is a telltale sign of a lack of self-discipline. If we were in church, I would say, look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor you can't wing it and win. I hope I'm helping. Number 9, how can I tell that I'm out here trying to wing it and I am not winning? Is if I'm in a perpetual state of worrying. I'm always worrying about everything. Just, oh goodness, is this going to work out? Oh, well, what if they don't do this? Oh, Lord, what will happen if this happens? Just in this constant state of worrying. And guess what? Worry opens the door to anxiety. The Bible tells us to be anxious for nothing. And so if you are in a state where you're consistently worrying, you're just worrying about things, you're always thinking about the worst case scenario, you're always thinking about if the shoe is going to drop, you're always thinking about how this thing is going to blow up in your face, you're in a perpetual state of worrying, then you out here winging it. Because guess what? You can't worry and work at the same time. Man, that's a new mic drop. Can somebody type that in the comments for me? Because I just came up with it. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. The Bible teaches us to be anxious for nothing, but I need to help you. You can't worry and work at the same time. One more time for the people in the back. I'm trying to help you identify. How do you know if you're in a state where you're trying to wing it, but you're not winning? You're in a state where you're always in a perpetual state of worry. And worry opens the door to anxiety. And so I'm going to help you. You can't worry and work at the same time. How you going to work when you worried? Oh, Lord, is this going to happen? Oh, how am I going to do that? How are you working and you're too busy worrying about it? Again, signs that you're trying to wing it. Here is another one. Perfectionism. Man, I teach this a lot. Perfectionism. Can I tell you that perfectionism is unhealed trauma? Man, listen, somebody didn't even know that, but let me put this out there. Perfectionism is unhealed trauma. Somebody made you feel as though you were not good enough. Somebody made you feel as though you had to have all of your ducks in a row. Somebody was always looking and judging and trying to give you, trying to really just nitpick everything that you were doing. And so what you do is you get in this state where it has to be perfect. And you put yourself in this place. You put yourself in this mindset of perfection. And guess what? Again, perfectionism is procrastination's first cousin. Oh yeah, somebody needs to hear this. Perfectionism is procrastination's first cousin. And guess what? When you marry them together, when you blend them together, guess what they do? They are still the kryptonite to progression. Did you hear what I said? Perfectionism plus procrastination is the kryptonite to progression. One more time for the people in the back. Perfectionism, which is unhealed trauma, plus procrastination equals a lack. It's what it's going to do. It's the kryptonite to progression. Man, am I helping y'all? And so here, I'm trying to tell you, you can't wing it and win. And so this is how we can tell if we're in this perpetual state of inertia where there is motion, but there is no movement. And so we're giving ourselves this false mindset that we're going towards something when we're really standing still. And so I think I've given you 10. I don't know how many I'm telling you about that's helping you realize that I'm in this place. These were the biggest time wasters. These are these things in our lives that that identify the fact that we're out here trying to wing it and we're not winning. You can't wing it and win. And so I told y'all I was going to give you guys a 7-step strategy for success. I hope y'all are ready. If you're just coming on, hello and welcome. I hope y'all are hitting this share button because there's somebody that needs to hear this. I keep telling y'all, I'm not about to go into a 2020 season with a 2019 mindset. No, listen, I'm trying to tell you that strategy is scriptural. That, listen to me, planning is biblical. I keep telling you guys that God is the master strategist because he knew the ending of a thing from the beginning. And so what he wants us to do is he said, let this mind be in you that's in Christ. And so what we've got to do is we've got to adapt our mindset so that we begin to put strategies together for our life, that we begin to put plans together for our purpose so that we can get and shift into our next. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate this. And so here it is. I told you that tonight is going to be about self-development, because what we'll do is we'll have a bomb website. We'll have all of these things put together in the natural, but we're not able to shift. We're not able to keep it. We're not able to sustain, maintain, and retain the things that are in our hands because we don't have a strategy for success. And so tonight's strategy for success, it is a 7-step success strategy, and it's going to help us get delivered from the inside out. It's going to help us reconcile some things from the inside out. Tonight is all about a strategy for self-development. This success strategy is for success development. So here we go. 7-step strategy for success. Number 1, acceptance. Number 1, acceptance. I told you earlier that the Bible says in Jeremiah 29:11 that God said, "For I know the plans that I have for you, plans for your well-being," in Amplified, plans for not for a disaster, to give you hope and a future, right? So God is saying this. He says, "I already know the plans I have for you. I already got them together." And then I told you earlier that he said, "Before I knew you, I grew you. Before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you." But you have to ask yourself a question. Is the way I'm thinking about myself the way God thinks about me? I said this is the 7-step strategy for personal success. I'm asking myself a question. Number 1 is acceptance. Is the way I think about myself the way God thinks about me? Are they lining up? Yeah, he has certain things about it. Listen, we're trying to think about, well, you know what? Is this the way that God is thinking about? I don't know. I don't know, because we're never going to be able to activate God's favor and his purpose for our life when we would rather acknowledge his rebuke, but we can't accept his rewards. I say this all of the time. We can deal with his rebuke, but we can't accept his reward. And so what happens is we're not able to win. We're not able to be successful professionally, personally, spiritually, prophetically, because we don't have a strategy. And so number 1, acceptance. I've got to come to a place where I'm able to accept that this is who he made me to be. Is the way I'm thinking about, what did God say about me? He said that I was fearfully and wonderfully made. Well, and Kalila's on, she dropped the mic this weekend so hard. She says, we got to remember that the Bible says, touch not mine anointed and do my prophet no harm. But guess what? You are the anointed. And are you touching yourself? Are you saying bad things about yourself? Are you speaking detriment to yourself? Are you dismantling your destiny with your dialogue? And that was one of my mic drops, but I had to throw it in there because it fit. Did you hear what I said? Are you dismantling your destiny with your dialogue? Are you speaking bad about yourself? I keep telling you guys to be not deceived. No matter what you sow, you're going to reap it. And so are you sowing bad words about yourself, about your future, about the way you look, about where your life is headed? And then you're looking, and when you're reaping turmoil, and then when you're reaping stagnation, and when you're reaping complacency, you wonder what in the world happened. And so number 1, acceptance. This is our 7-step strategy for personal success. Number 2, admittance. We aren't activating the purpose, and we aren't winning in our now because of the things that we won't admit. What kind of things won't I admit? Well, here's one, that there is some hell on the inside of me. Oh, yeah. All of us didn't come out speaking in an unknown tongue. And, some of us act like you and Jesus, BFFs in high school. But the truth of the matter is, some of the time we've got to get to the place where we can admit it's some hell on the inside of me. We got to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I keep telling y'all, you can't fix what you won't face. And so what happens is we try to disregard some of the hell on the inside of us. We try to disregard some of the things that are causing us to be wayward. We try to disregard some of the things that causes us to be double-minded. And we try to go on. And what happens is and I say this all of the time, our gifts make room for us, but our integrity retains us in that room. And so what happens is we never want to get clear of what's really going on the inside of us. And so Jeremiah 17:9 says that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? And so what happens is we grant ourselves these false ideologies about who we are. Oh, I'm good, honey. All I do is win. It ain't nothing but helping me. And it's just winning. But like somebody just said, but there's some hurt on the inside of me. There's some anger on the inside of me. There's some resentment on the inside of me. There's some bitterness on the inside of me. There is some unforgiveness on the inside of me. And so if we can't get clear about our now, we won't be any good for our next. I better say that again for the people in the back. If we can't get clear about our now, we're not going to be any good in our next. And so number 2 is admittance. What is going on the inside of me? I have a book called Tainted Reflections. You can't fix what you won't face. And one of the chapters is called Loving the Hell Out of Myself. Yeah, I said it. Loving the hell out of myself, because there are some things on the inside of me that I need to reconcile. There are some things on the inside of me, hopelessness and fear and jealousy and insecurity and procrastination and depression, demons that's on the inside of me causing hell, wreaking havoc in my mindset. And so if I can't get clear on what's inside of me in my now, then I won't be any good for my next. I hope I'm helping. Number 3, adjustment. This is my 7-step strategy for personal success. Number 3 is adjustment. I put out a quote a while back and it said, stop confusing adjustment with accommodation. This is going to be a mic drop. So let me say this again for the people in the back. Stop confusing adjustment with accommodation. See, one requires you to move for things, but the other requires things to move for you. Woo! Did you hear what I just said? I said, stop confusing adjustment with accommodation. One requires you to move for things, but the other requires things to move for you. Let's go to the word. 1 Corinthians 15:8 says, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. The NIV says it a different way. It says, therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. So here's the problem. Number 3 is adjustment. What happens is, let me just show you a real life practical example. Adjustment means if somebody told me, hey, you need to adjust your microphone. Adjusting my microphone means something else got to move for me. I'm standing still. I am just going to realign something else to move for me. But what happens is we spend our time in a state of accommodation. And so what we keep doing is we keep moving for everybody else. If somebody looks like they want to get in front of us, then we get out of our place. If somebody looks like they're doing better than us, then we get out of our place. If somebody looks like they're making more progression than us, then we get out of our place. Let me help you again. Stop confusing adjustment with accommodation. One requires you to move for things, but the other requires things to move for you. Be steadfast, unmovable. Again, the NIV makes it plain. It says, stand still, let nothing move you. And so we've got to take inventory in our lives. We've got to see what is moving. Am I moving or is it moving? Because I'm supposed to be steadfast. I'm supposed to be in place. I'm supposed to not let nothing deter me. I'm supposed to be going straight ahead. And so, number 3, adjustment. I'm talking about a 7-step strategy for personal success. Number 4, annulment. Number 4, annulment. To annul something means that you declare it as invalid. Man, this is going to help somebody tonight. Number 4 is annulment. Annul. To annul something means that I am declaring that it is invalid, that it is null and void. Can I tell you something? There are some things that we're still tied to physically and emotionally and mentally that we need to declare that it is invalid before we can activate our next. I'm trying to help give you this 7-step strategy for personal success. Annulment means that I am declaring that something is null and void. I am saying that this particular thing is invalid in my life. Can I tell you, some of our problem is that we keep trying to validate invalid things. Uh-oh. Did you just hear that mic I just dropped? Some of our problem is we keep trying to validate invalid things. One more time for the people in the back. We keep trying to validate invalid things. So number 4 is annulment. We're sitting here and we're trying to make people's opinions that don't really matter. We're validating them. Why? They're not paying your bills. They're not helping you get out of your now into your next. They're not giving you any reciprocity. They're not sowing into what it is that you're trying to do. And so why in the world do we keep validating invalid things? That's why if we're going to be successful, if we're going to progress into our next, then number 4 is annulment. There are some things that we have to say that is no longer valid. Sometimes it's people's opinion. Invalid. Girl, you didn't hear what they had to say. Who? Invalid. There are some things that are null and void. They no longer have any validity to who I am. See, that's the problem. They might have had some validity to who I was, but I need to be able to reconcile that who I am, that's invalid. And so I need to annul that. I told y'all earlier that sometimes the best decree that you can make is the benediction. May the Lord watch between you and I while we are absent one from another. And so, number 4, annulment. Number 5, I hope this is helping. Number 5, they're all going to be starting with A, all right? But again, these are my 7 steps for personal success. And this is personal development. Number 5 is acquisition. I'm in teacher mode tonight. Number 5 is acquisition. Listen, acquisition. Stop trying to be a one-man show and learn how to reach out to other people and ask for help. Oh yeah, let me just say that again because I need you to hear this. Stop trying to be a one-man show and reach out and ask for help. Listen at me. Romans 14:7 says in the NIV, for none of us live for ourselves and none of us die for ourselves alone. So in other words, that says as we go through life, we have to be partnered with people. We have to learn how to make connections. We have to learn how to network. We have to learn how to acquire the things that we might not have come equipped with. None of us have it all. None of us can do it all. And so what we're thinking is that somebody is going to judge us if we make ourselves vulnerable and if we don't ask for help. Can I tell you something? Some of us don't speak well. Some of us don't articulate well. But then there are people like me who literally have the gift of audible accuracy, right? It's just one of those things that I know how to do. What I did was develop a 4-week program called Amplify Your Sound. And it's for speakers. But guess what? I can't help you unless you go on over, shameless plug, to ElisaLaShell.com and click on the link so that you can register for my Amplify Your Sound course where I teach you how to develop your message with clarity, with confidence. And so this is what we do. And so we have to get to the point where we recognize what is it that I need, and do I get to a place where I can say, here is somebody that has something I need, and that's who I need to talk to. I had to get to a place where I said, I'm good on the front end, but here's the truth. I need a business manager. I need somebody that can help refine some things because I'm so busy, looking at what I have in front of me. I need somebody that's going to have a bigger vision and look at what it is that I need to do. And so guess what? Let me go find me a wealth strategist. Let me go find somebody that can do what I don't know how to do. Or I might say, I am a person with amazing people skills. I am a person that well, guess what? You need to find somebody that's the queen of connections. And you need to say, you know what? I see how they connect people on their platform, in their projects. I see how they connect people when they have conferences and conventions. I need to get with a person that can show me how to connect. But what happens is some of us we just too high and lifted up to get a mentor. We too high and lifted up to get a therapist. We too high and lifted up to get a coach. And so we have to get to the place where we understand that in order to be successful in our next, we're going to have to acquire some things that we might not have access to. Man, I hope I'm helping y'all tonight. Number 6, affirmation. Affirmation. A while ago, I remember posting a quote that said that there is a distinct difference between approval and affirmation. One relies on the limited and unstable opinions on the outside, and the other depends on the constant, reliable support on the inside. And so let me say that again because I need you to hear this. There is a distinct difference between approval and affirmation. Approval means I've got to rely on people on the outside who are finicky, who are fickle, who sometimes are not going to show up, who will completely hold their approval from you just so that you won't shift and because they want you stagnated. And so what happens is their opinions, their approval is one of those things that come from the outside. But affirmations come from the inside. Out of our belly flows that river of living water. Why do you think the Bible says, now unto him that's able to do exceeding and abundantly above all we can ask or think? But check this out. According to the power within that's on the inside of you. According to the power that works on the inside of you. Some of that power is the power of audible affirmations. I've been saying everywhere I go that in this era, in this dispensation of my life, I am in a place where I am making prophetic proclamations. I am in a place where I am making declarations of destiny. I am in this place where I am making audible affirmations. And so we got to understand that some of the reasons why we're winging it and not winning is because we're consistently looking for the approval of other people. And it comes from the outside, and our source is unstable. And we don't understand how to look from those things on the inside of us. We don't understand that the Bible says that whatever we bind in earth is bound in heaven, and whatever we loose on earth is loosed in heaven, and that the power of life and death lies in our tongue. And so we make no audible affirmations. When is the last time that you've made some audible affirmations about yourself? I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I am above only and not beneath. I am the lender and not the borrower. I am overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of my testimony. When is the last time that you made audible affirmations to position yourself for progression, prosperity, and purpose? Did you hear what I just said? When was the last time you made audible affirmations to position yourself for progression, prosperity, and purpose? And so I'm out here making declarations of destiny and prophetic proclamations because I just believe that I'm about to shift out of my now into my next. And last but not least, as I end this 7-step strategy for personal success, number 7 is advancement. Advancement. Advancement simply means to move forward. We know the scripture says that the race is not given to the swift nor the battle to the strong. You have to recognize the things that are keeping you from progressing. The word puts it this way: let us lay aside every weight and the sin that easily besets us. In other words, we have got to discern our distractions. Man, somebody needs to type this into the comments. Discern your distractions. One more time for the people in the back. Discern your distractions. I've been saying this everywhere I go. But the way that you focus and advance and get ahead is not necessarily that you are looking so hard at what's in front of you, but you're saying, what's distracting me from moving to that thing that's in front of me? Is it TV? Is it too much talking? Is it toxic people in my relationship? What is it that's distracting me? Because we're made to be progressive. We're made to constantly be moving forward. And so what happens is I need to be able to discern my distractions. What's causing me to look to the left and to the right? What's causing me to be double-minded? Because a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. What's causing me not to advance and go to the next level? It is his will that we prosper and be in health, even as our soul prospers. And so if you're not advancing, then you're not progressing, then you're not prospering, then you're not prophetically aligned for purpose. And so discern your distractions. Figure out what in the world is it that's causing me to stay stagnant, what's causing me to be comfortable in my complacency. And so, again, I'm grateful. I'm Elisa LaShell, the Empowerment Specialist. I'm grateful that you all joined me as I taught you all in the first half how to identify ways to understand that you're winging it. And then as I gave you and equipped you with 7 steps for personal success. Listen, we're almost at the end of the year. And I'm just going to say this one time because I don't do a whole lot of self-promotion when it comes to social media. I'm too busy working. But let me tell you this. If you found yourself in any of this stuff and you're saying, listen, the truth of the matter is I'm out here winging it and I need to be winning, then what you need to do, I'm going to put this quick link up. You need to schedule a one-on-one session with me. That's just the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. You need to make a personal investment in your own self. And you need to say, you know what? I can put my money in my makeup. I can put my money in my man. I can put my money in all of this other stuff. But at some point, I've got to be able to make a investment into myself, because after I shift into next year, everything going up. My prices is going up. My availability is going down. I better say that again for the people in the back. When I shift until my next year, my price is going up and my availability is going down. So to book your session, I am going to put this link up and I'm letting you guys know. And let me tell you why I know that this is working. Because here it is, October of 2019. I already have engagements booked for January, February, March, April, and May of 2020. Because I decided that I needed to get clear. I decided that I needed to be clear about what I needed to do. I decided that I needed to get rid of distractions. I decided that I was tired of winging it and I started winning. And I didn't just want to win. I wanted to put together a strategy for success for somebody else. And so if you need to get clear of some things that are blocking you personally, listen, I have an Authentically Me 4-week class that will help you get rid of your burdens, your buildups, and all of those and barriers that keep you from being great. I have a speaking class that is called Amplify Your Sound that will help you articulate your purpose, that will help you articulate with perfection, that will help you with these audible activations, that will help you speak with clarity, confidence, and comprehension. And last but not least, I have an Expand Your Brand class. It's a 4-week course that will help you get the presence, the platform, and the prosperity that you need in your purpose. And even if you just want a one-on-one session, you can book a 30-minute or a 1-hour session with me so that you can get clear on who you are now so that you can be all you need to be in your next. Thank y'all again for joining me again. I appreciate you guys support. Listen, you better stay connected because in these next couple of weeks, I got some real life bombs that I'm about to be dropping. So make sure that you're connected, following me on social media, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I have a YouTube channel. You can watch my video replays. So just make sure you stay connected. And until next time, I'll see y'all.